Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the TAPED podcast, the most miserable podcast in the world. I'm your host, Nostalgia, and joining me is my co-host,
MickyT.
And today we have a guest from albumoftheyear.com. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Mr.A, and I'm depressed!
And today, what are we going to be doing, Michael?
We, the Taped Podcast, are going to be doing a Paramore worst to best.
Woo!
Wow!
Let's go!
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
This should have been turned into the most insane podcast in the world.
Got him.
Got it.
So yeah, we're also going to be including the new Hayley Williams solo album from this year, just to make this this ranking more longer. I guess I don't know what to say. Paramore only have 5 albums. So,
Yeah, they only have 5 albums on their own, so
yeah.
we think including Petals for Armor would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Especially since
Yeah.
in terms of Paramore, like Hayley Williams is the face of Paramore to say the least. So
Yeah.
it's kind of I'd say it was a good idea, just involving that album as well. But anyways,
Yeah, and
I think we
also
should-
Taylor York actually produced the Hayley
Yeah.
Williams
He
debut,
also
and I think he did most of the instrumentation as well. So
yeah, he did
Yeah.
stuff for it, yeah.
anyways, yep. Yeah, we'll just get started right away then. We'll do the usual me, then nostalgia, then a bell. All right? All right. Number 6, I chose Riot.
Oh, I agree.
Oh.
Oh.
I also chose Riot.
Well, no, but I chose self-titled Paramore.
What?
What?
Oh, okay.
I guess we're all...
You're not getting mad at me when you're putting fucking Riot at the bottom?
Here.
Come on. Look, we'll explain ourselves. We'll explain ourselves. Okay, so... Alright, we've already pissed off a guest. It's time to piss off now. Anyways,
Oh God, Mick.
yeah, okay. So, yeah, Riot.
Ricky T?
Paramore. Ricky T, baby.
Mick?
Can you not hear me?
It sounded like he fell off his chair or something.
I'm here.
Hello?
Sorry. My fucking headset muted itself by accident. I was just talking there while no one was noticing.
Oh, well, we'll cut it out. It's okay. Post-production.
Okay. Professional podcasts.
Right.
Yeah,
Cool.
anyways, I'll start with Riot. So, Paramore's sophomore album is the one that is the big one for them, essentially. It's the one that brought them into the mainstream, and it's well-deserved, as this album, despite it being at my bottom spot, is a really, really good album. I think that it shows that they had the strengths necessary to keep up the momentum as a good band, and it's arguably one of their most influential albums, too. You know, the band take what they did on their debut and try expand upon it with arguably an album that feels a lot more driven for an anthem type thing. And plus, it's made for a generation of teenagers and pop-punk fans alike, which, was the appeal for them. The production on this thing feels a lot more varied than the debut, I'd say. I think Hayley's vocals sound fantastic. The lyrics feel a lot more anthemic, a bit driven and inspiring, and overall it's just another fun pop-punk experience. And I guess my gripes with this album boil down to a lot of the songs not really being interesting for me, or really giving me much to enjoy in comparison with some of their other projects. But besides that, I think that this is a good album on its own, despite it being at my bottom spot. Please don't murder me.
Yeah, I think
You're
that
fine.
this is a good album. I agree. I think it just kind of falls flat in comparison to some of their other albums. I think it definitely follows a similar formula to their debut, but it seems a little bit more cleaned up, and the songwriting, while still quite juvenile, definitely has some moments where you can tell that Hayley's improving and kind of just getting more confident. But I think the fact that it is so cleaned up and it is a bit more accessible, and easy to listen to also makes it a bit less rewarding when compared to the debut, and it loses kind of that rawness and just the energy of the debut, which it still has in some tracks, but there are some moments where it just kind of doesn't interest me. It doesn't excite me as much as their debut did, and it doesn't really experiment as much as some of their later albums did, so it just feels like a bit of an awkward crossroads.
Well, I don't know about you guys. Self-titled, it ain't.
Here.
Here.
Disagree.
I gave it a 7, but I almost gave it a 6. You wanna know why?
No.
Okay.
I'm
that
gonna
opinion,
make a prediction here. I'm gonna make a prediction here. You think it's too long?
Not just that. Okay, but let me. I have stuff written down because like there's some backstory to this. Okay. So
okay.
So I'll start us off with some fun facts. I say fun, but this is kind of depressing. I don't know why I titled it that on my notes, but sometime after the band Brand New Eyes, the Farrell brothers left the band, and this left Haley, Jeremy Davis, and Taylor York in the band, with Haley being the only original member there. And yeah, when it comes to lyrics, this album seems very like focused on looking at the future, you know, with like a lot of like lyricism, like just directed towards like, you know, where they're going as a band. And like some of these tracks are, well, of course, the final track, The Future, and Driving Fast in My Car, and oh yeah, and also Grow Up. That one's also King Towards the Future, the 6th time. It also seems to like go back and take a little like look into the past with the free ukulele tracks, which is one of my problems with the album, but I'll respect it in the sense that it's kind of like a look back towards you know, their past, because like there's like the songs that like they could have written for albums but they didn't really finish, so they decided to make it into like a ukulele track, which I don't really approve of sonically, but concept, it's fine. The sound of this record is a lot more poppy and it's produced fairly cleanly compared to their other albums, but that's not a bad thing, because like unlike a lot of pop punk bands, like it switched into this like poppy aesthetic thing, like how like fucking Fall Out Boy, for example, did, or like fucking
I knew you were gonna mention Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, like I swear to God, man, let me just say it. Everything past Folie à Deux is straight garbage. Like, they weren't that great to begin with, but like, oh my God.
I think their debute's pretty good.
Yeah, but like,
I've only heard Mania, and I'm not incentivized
well, then
to listen to anything else.
Foley is I
not a good
love that
sample.
album, and there's some other tracks off the rest of their discography, like the past that I can like, but everything past that's bad. But let's get back on track. This isn't about Fall Out Boy. Paramore.
True, yeah.
Paramore. Let's go. Okay, but yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, this record has like a lot more like the production makes it like a lot more atmospheric, especially in like the aspect of the lead guitar playing, because like I'm driving past in my car, like I swear, like the lead guitar is just like soaring, man. It's just like flying over the track, and I really love that aspect of it. And it doesn't really affect the band's sound in any way. Haley's vocals, she adapts really great onto this record. She like loses like that pop punk like inflection and really starts to like, you know, delve into like being like a very famous pop singer now, and like she's really good at it. I'd say.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like and like tracks like Ain't Fun, there features like a choir on it, which is very new for them as a band. That never really happened before. And the thing about that song is like that song and Still Into You, like, I have, like, a lot of nostalgia for it, because, like, those songs, like, really, like, bring back to when, like, I heard that song on, like, the radio one time when I was, like, a lot of times when I was a kid, and it was just really nice, because it was just, like, an uplifting track that I didn't even know it was from Paramore until I started this binge. But, yeah, it just really reminds me of, like, the times when everything wasn't so, like, hectic and complex. It just simple time.
Yeah.
But my main problems with this album lie with, yes, Mickey, length, and but there is some really good tracks. Like as I mentioned before, Driving Fast in My Car, Future, last track, Ain't It Fun, which is a really good song. I love it. It's like probably one of my favorite like hits ever. It's just really great. But my problems also lie with, like, as I mentioned before, the 3 ukulele tracks, and because, like, yes, I respect that they're a callback to the past, but sonically they're just not that interesting. To be honest, like, a lot of ukulele songs are like that. If there's just that instrument and nothing else, it's just like it's just a small instrument and soundscape, and it just really doesn't do that much for me. That doesn't mean it can't be used well. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. I can kind of agree with that.
Yeah, but it's still like a 7. Like, it's still pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to best and worst tracks. My favorite tracks from Riot are For a Pessimist, I'm Pretty Optimistic, Misery Business, Let the Flames Begin, and Born for This. The worst tracks are Crush, 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 and We Are Broken.
True.
My favorite tracks on Riot were For a Pessimist, I'm Pretty Optimistic, Hallelujah, When It Rains, Crush, 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 and Fences. And my least favorite track was We Are Broken. And I gave it a... Oh, no, we don't do ratings in this.
We don't do
I gotta make... Yeah, I thought it was the monthly recap.
You. Aha, I'm gonna destroy the structure of this podcast.
No, I just have it in my notes for some reason.
I'm gonna fuck every single...
Yeah,
Mr.A here to single-handedly ruin the taped podcast.
Oh, yes. I will mess everything up. But, yeah, my favorite tracks, or as I said in my notes, my fave are Fast in My Car, Now, Ain't It Fun, and Future. Least faves are all of the ukulele tracks and Proof.
Alright, number 5 picks. I chose Petals for Armor.
I chose Brand New Eyes.
Wait, what?
What?
No!
Wait, really?
You!
That's not that unpopular.
You motherfucker!
I
I'm going to...
I didn't
you know what?
think
No. Yo, Mickey, I'm gonna stop you right there, because I got something to say. You know, I'm gonna let you finish, but like, nah, I need to say something right now. You know, okay, nostalgia, buddy.
Yeah.
I love you, man. You're a great guy. You know, you're cool. But like, fuck you. Okay, fuck you,
Okay.
stupid piece of shit. You know what? You wanna know why I'm saying that? Because
I'll hang on to the first bit.
Because you just dissed my queen, my fucking bad bitch diva, Haley Williams, okay? You just went against her like that. You just go like, oh yeah, Brand New Eyes is not that great. Man, that's oh my god.
I mean,
How do
I
you
think
do
it's great.
this, man, Ireland, fuck Ireland.
Alright, I'll give my address in 3, 2, I'll cut it out.
What vinyl do you have? What vinyl do you have? Name one
What vinyl?
What's one? Just name one of your vinyl.
Mr.A, actual simp confirmed?
Name one.
I have a pack of vinyl gloves.
Vinyl gloves? Your vinyl gloves? Yeah, there's a remote bomb in it. I'm gonna detonate it right fucking now. You're gonna die.
Thank God.
Thank God!
Well, I'm waiting.
What the fuck?
He's been waiting for this moment.
I was hoping.
You can go on, Mickey. I don't know what to do.
There's a reason I have them under my pillow. I was waiting for this moment.
Fucking quick. This got edgy real quick.
Holy shit.
Guys, positive. We have to have a positive outlook on everything. Wait.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. I forgot what we were doing for a sec. Kind of got out of hand.
Mickey,
I bet.
Yeah, you're
I
gonna
bet. What
say
was
yours.
your number 5?
Wait, did you say yours?
Yeah, I said Petals
Yeah,
for
we
Armor.
both said ours.
Oh, Petals Farm. Oh, fuck you too. But I'm not gonna go on a rant. Yeah. My pick is Riot.
Why'd you get so pissed about it
Yeah,
when we
why'd
put
you
it at the
get-
bottom, though?
Yeah, wait. You're gonna have to explain yourself now.
Here's a perfect explanation. Content.
Content.
Ah.
Content card.
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
will we go ahead?
Yeah. Go.
Alright, so Petals for Armor. I think that this is a really good album. I think Haley really Haley really made something that would be a great start to her solo pursuits, and it sees her obviously pursue her solo adventures with a lot more songwriting centered around like self-reflection, her insecurities in a more like detailed and vivid way than they've ever really had beforehand. And the sound of this album is way different than everything that she's done up to this point, with a lot more of like an art pop and like indie flair to them, and I feel like a majority of the time it works really well to her advantage, and there are some really great moments in the track list, and there's plenty of moments where Haley shines vocally and lyrically. I suppose the only real problem that I have with this album is that there are moments in the mixing and the engineering that leave a lot to be desired, and the track list does have its spotty moments. It's a little bit too long. Besides that, I think this is a very solid debut album, and it's a great exercise in anticipation for the like potential that she has to be a solo artist, you know?
Yeah. I agree.
Wait 1 second. I'm opening the door here. Right. So I went with, as everyone knows already, I went with Brand New Eyes.
No!
And it definitely feels like a step up in terms of maturity for the band, while still retaining a lot of the punchiness and energy of the first two albums. But for me, it definitely feels like a bit of an awkward transitioning phase when you compare it to everything else. It does have the energy and punchiness of the debut, for example, but I just don't think it's as effective, as exciting as that album. But then it also isn't as, I think, interesting and experimental and unique as some of their other projects. So it just kind of gets stuck in the middle there for me. It does have a lot of great tracks, but it does also have some that kind of end up feeling like filler to me. And it is a great album, but I wouldn't listen to it over some of the ones I have above.
Yeah, fair. At least you didn't put All We Know Is Falling at the bottom, like I was expecting both of you to do.
No.
Yeah, fair. For Riot, I don't really have that many like notes for it, because like it's not that like it's good. Like I like it a lot. It's like nice, but like I would say that it explores a lot more of like an aggressive, and like the riffs are a lot more punchy compared to like Almost Falling Over. Although like the songwriting though, it's like good for the most part, but like tracks for like When It Rains and like Crush 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 are like just not that great lyrically, and like this Crush 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 in specific, like the vocal effects on it, I it's been a while, but like it's kind of just weird. It's not that great. But yeah.
Yeah,
But I will say for one, the riffs on Misery Business and For a Pessimist I'm an Optimist are awesome, and that definitely carries on to the next album, Brand New Eyes, which really combines like the great lyricism with like the really punchy riffs, and I feel like that combination is why nostalgia is wrong and I am right. Fuck you. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it.
All right. My favorite tracks from Petals for Armor are Simmer, Leave It Alone, Cinnamon, Roses, Lotus, Violet, Iris, Why We Ever, Sudden Desire, Pure Love, and Dead Horse. The worst track is Sugar on the Rim.
So basically all of the tracks off of the first disc. Most of them.
Most. Quote unquote most.
Most.
The thing is,
Yo,
though,
Go ahead.
No, like the rest are good, but like these stood out to me way more.
Yeah, no, I agree. Legitimately, I was just saying that as like pointing out a thing. Like it's that first like EP is fire. Like, yeah, but I'm going. nostalgic.
Did you know that Phoebe Bridgers and Julian Baker did the vocals, the backing vocals on Rose's Lotus Iris? By the way, I didn't know
I
that.
did not know that.
Yeah,
That's the thing though. I had a feeling like I thought I heard like Phoebe Bridgers on there. Which
I didn't at all until I went back and I was like, oh, yeah, kind of.
Oh, it's actually incredible.
Yeah, it's Phoebe Bridgers.
Shout out to Phoebe Bridgers.
Did we do best and worst tracks? Is that what I'm doing right now?
Yes, you're doing that now.
Alright, my favourite tracks on Brand New Eyes were Playing God, Brick by Boring Brick, Turn It Off, The Only Exception, and Feeling Sorry. My least favourite track was Careful.
Wrong. Okay.
Alright.
My favorite tracks off of Riot are Misery Business for Pessimist. I'm an Optimist. I'm pretty optimistic. And my least favorite is Crush.
Yes. Anyways,
Okay.
number 4 pick, I chose Paramore.
Damn,
Now we're getting there.
These are disrespecting the self-titled. I chose All We Know Is Failing.
Isn't it falling?
Is it?
Is it? Or
Yeah,
am
I
I?
don't know.
It's falling. You got it
Oh.
wrong.
I don't know how I do this, but I often do that. You
All
know
the
that
stuff
game
knows is
that
failing.
everyone's playing, Phasmophobia?
Yo,
I've been reading that as Plasmophobia for the last week.
I have
I
a
don't
question. Real shit, right now. Be completely 100% honest with me.
Yeah.
how drunk are you right now from a scale of 1 to 10?
0, to be honest.
That wasn't an
This-
option. You're lying. I
this
said
week's
1
just-
to 10. You said 0. You're lying.
No, this week it's just my brain deficiency.
Oh, okay. I get it. But, yeah. What number?
4.
4.
4. So, yeah, because I'm looking at my list right now, and it doesn't have Petals Paramore on it, so it's kind of confusing. But, After Laughter by Paramore.
Ooh, spicy.
What?
Spicy.
Why did I agree?
Oh, shit.
What?
What?
I didn't even. Wait, what did you even say, dude?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure, we had a whole thing about it because I just learned that the title was... I've been pronouncing the title wrong my whole life. All We Know Is Falling.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's move on now.
I'm taken
This
aback.
is oh Jesus Christ, this is derailing. Anyways, yeah, my number 4 pick was Paramore, self-titled, and you know, with Paramore not releasing an album after about 4 years, like you'd wonder what the band would come up with next, and it was a pretty hectic moment in the band's career too, because you know, after the lineup change, there was a stylistic change too, because Paramore this time around dabble in a lot more of a pop rock driven direction rather than pop punk, and for one, I am a fan of this direction as I love seeing bands expand outside of what's the norm for them, and this album is a good example of that, and the production on this album is very good. It keeps a balance between, you know, the being loud and, you know, in your face like some of the previous releases, while also expanding with new sounds, synths in particular feel way more prevalent than they ever had before. And I like that. I think the band writes some really fun, really catchy tunes throughout this whole thing with some great performances. And it really shows that even after how drastic things changed for them, they still know how to create some fucking brilliant music. Like, my only real issues is that it does end a bit weak with the last few tracks. And I don't really think... it's that consistent given those few tracks in the track list that are kind of I don't know, just unnecessary to me. It's about 3 tracks too long if we're not counting the interludes, in my opinion. So yeah.
I am.
I went with their debut, which I think is a great album, but I'll get the things everyone says about this album out of the way first. Yeah, the songwriting isn't great. Hayley Williams was 16.
No!
Can't expect much to be honest, it was their first album. She hadn't fully developed as a songwriter. Whatever, I could care less if the songwriting isn't great. That's not what I'm looking for in this album. I'm not looking for amazing fucking poetry that's just going to leave me dumbfounded and just with a new outlook on life. I just want fun banger after banger, and this album definitely delivers. I think the instrumentation is really great. The mixing is pretty good. I think it could definitely be better, but it also does kind of add to the raw energy of the album as a whole. And a lot of the tracks just are so catchy. They're so fun and charismatic. And overall, it's just such an energetic and just fun album that it, you know, a lot of their later albums afterwards that were a lot more refined and calculated just kind of lose the magic that this album has for me. And yeah, it's a fantastic album and one of my favorites in their discography. Also, Hayley's vocals are fucking amazing here. When I was 16, I could barely talk, let alone sing. I still can barely talk.
And you can barely make correct opinion.
Says the one with After Laughter number 4.
Wait, what? Says what? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead.
This didn't need to get as hostile as it did. Jesus.
Yeah, like, you guys just don't understand, man. Like, just Stan Haley Williams.
We're going through some hard times.
Mr.A, actual simp.
His room is just Hayley Williams posters everywhere.
Yeah. I really am not, but I just really like the music, but yeah, but like
I'm not a simp. I just like the music. I swear.
That's what they all say.
Okay, I'll say what I'm. Let me.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So After Laughter, yeah, really good album. I didn't think I'd like this more than, well, let's say like right, but like towards like the end of the track listing, like it just really impressed me. Let me just talk about this lyrically now. Like, I think.
Oh, sorry. Hey, my hat fell off my head onto the mic.
Oh. Okay. I think the best way to describe this album is a better attempt of looking into the future and the past of Paramore than self-titled, you know? Because, like, not only is there a lot less, filler tracks than, like, compared to self-titled, but there are just so much more, like, songs on here that, like, with hard-hitting lyrics, you know? Like, a perfect example of this is, the introspective look on the band is the track, No Friend, which surprisingly has, I didn't know about this until, like, I looked at the lyrics, has, an entire spoken word passage from, Aaron Weiss? Yeah, Aaron Weiss, the lead vocalist of Me Without You, which I didn't expect at all. They sound completely different. So yeah, like one's like, oh, I'm big bass post hardcore. I'm like, no, I'm pop, yeah. But, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, like he writes some really good shit, and like he takes a lot of like references from all of their albums, like from All We Know Is Falling to Brand New Eyes to the self-titled, and it really is like a great reflective track. So yeah, No Friend, great song. Yeah, it's led into really well with the track Idol Worship, which is like the first time Hayley has ever really, at least to my knowledge, is like addressed her like status as like a prominent figure in the pop punk scene, because as like a very prominent figure, she has like a lot of influence, and I feel like her addressing that like kind of influence is important. And hold on, let me turn on my lights because it's really hard to read my notes in the dark.
Am I the only one here who's clowncore?
What?
Nostalgia, word to you. Are you?
No.
Ah, come on, say it. Don't be shy.
Not saying anything.
Okay.
Oh,
Let me
fine.
continue now. So other great lyrical moments are like "Rose Colored Boy," which explores like Haley wanting to be negative sometimes, but like in like the more like that's like the big like optimistic notion. You gotta look at the world like it's such a beautiful wave, and sometimes some of the world's shit, and you need to realize that. Even if you're an optimist. And idol worship, like I said before, was a great way of like looking at Haley's status as a prominent figure in the pop scene. And yeah, sonically, this album's a lot more synth poppy and kind of like 80s sort of. I also especially really like Haley's performance vocally because like he has a lot of uhs and ums. It's like kind of like sort of like Michael Jackson stuff, and not exactly. Like it's kind of reminiscent of that,
Mm.
And the bass and guitar is like really groovy on this album. It's really nice. With some minimalistic guitar too. That on top of that. I would also say that the last song on here, shit, I didn't write down the name. Fuck. No, everything's falling. I'm never gonna be on the podcast again. This is where it all ends.
Oh, it's not gonna end. It's not gonna end here. Trust me.
Okay. Oh yeah, Tell Me How. Yeah, it's just a really great way to lead after the second to last track, No Friend, with Aaron Weiss on it. But yeah, really great album. That's pretty much it. That's all I have to say.
All right.
Alright.
My favorite tracks from self-titled are "Fast in My Car," Part 2, "Ankle Biters," "Still Into You," "Daydreaming," "Ain't It Funny," and "Be Alone." I was thinking that in my head just when I said that.
Ain't
so
it funny?
Catchy.
Ain't it funny?
Ain't it funny? I didn't say ain't it funny. I said ain't it
funny how it
fun.
happened?
No,
No, he said ain't it funny.
I
Ain't
didn't
it
say
funny?
it. I did
Ain't it?
not say ain't it funny. I did
Ain't it?
not say that. I swear to fuck, I did not say ain't it funny.
I heard ain't it funny.
I didn't.
Well, I have the footage. Hold up.
And
22 minutes.
and the worst tracks are "Last Hope," "One of Those Crazy Girls," and "Future."
Oh yeah.
My favorite
Future, though.
my favorite tracks on their debut were All We Know, Pressure, Emergency, Brighter, Never Let This Go. My least favorite is Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa there, buddy.
Bruh.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, but my favorite tracks of After Laughter are Hard Times, Bop, No Friend, and Idol Worship, and the last. Oh God, I need to check it again. I need to check it. Oh no, no. Okay, Tell Me How. Yeah, the last track. And my least favorite tracks are just singular. I don't know why I wrote tracks. Forgiveness.
What? What? The fuck?
What?
It's
What the fuck?
It's not.
Bruh.
It's not
Bruh.
that interesting of a ballad. Like,
Bruh.
Brug.
Brug.
brother.
Brug.
Fuck's
Brug.
sake. This has gotten so stupid. Jesus Christ.
Number 3. Number 3,
Yeah.
lads.
My number 3 pick was "All We Know Is Falling."
My number 3
Jeez.
pick was Petals for Armor.
Are
Are
you
you
having
changing your
you
opinion
having
last
doubts?
minute?
You having doubts?
I'm having doubts right now. Petals for Armor. Yeah. My number 3 pick is my third pick is Petals for Armor.
All right. I'll get mine over and done with since you have the same one. Anyways, All We Know Is Falling. Paramore's 2005 debut album is underrated as hell in my opinion. It gets way more shit than it deserves, and like come on. So what if the writing isn't that good? They were a teenage band. What did you expect from them? Like,
Hey, they could be Hanson. Could be worse.
could be worse. The thing is, the instrumentation on this thing, I love it. I think it's class. It's so energetic. It's so invigorating, like what you'd want a pop-punk record to be. And I think the guitar work on this thing is just so good. And the drumming is incredibly good. I think Hayley Williams, right from the get-go, shows us that she's a really great lead for a band. Like, she proves that she's very talented as a vocalist, and she has potential as a songwriter. And, you know, over time, obviously, we know the songwriting got really good. The track list on this album is consistently good. For how short it was, it has so much rewarding about it. Like, I love a lot of the tracks on here. There's plenty of catchy, like, pop-punk tunes, and on this thing, they're just fun as hell. Like, for a 30-minute length, packs a lot of punch. Like, the only negative things that I can say is that a few tracks were forgettable and, you know, the songwriting. But, yeah, I think it's a good debut. All in all, it's just immediate pop-punk mastery, I would say.
When Hayley Williams first released her debut this year, I was kind of a bit indifferent towards it. Did we cover it on our monthly recap, or was that before?
Yeah, we did. We covered it. Was it May or July?
I think it was May. I think it was actually May.
I
liked the album. I liked the album. It had its moments, but I wasn't really blown away by it. But over the course of the last few months, it's really grown on me. And it kind of sees Hayley explore a bit of a sophisticated and very eclectic approach to alternative dance. Kind of similar to what was explored on After Laughter, except definitely a lot more low-key and a lot more subtle in its delivery. And, you know, this very art pop inspired twist actually works out very well on this album. I think Hayley's voice matches the kind of very elegant instrumentation and production on this album. You know, the fact that Taylor York is on the instrumentals and on the production kind of ties it together into their discography in a way, even though it is separate. It is its own beast. But, you know, it's still very much familiar, and it's still very much Hayley Williams, the Hayley Williams we know from Paramore. And, you know, I feel like she kind of used this solo album thing to make an album that's more expressive and more out there and kind of explore things she wouldn't, you know, otherwise maybe explored under the pressures of the Paramore label. And I think it works out great. I think it has one or two tracks that I don't really care much for, but, you know, the high moments on this album are just so great. The production is fantastic, so off-kilter and odd at times, and it's such a rewarding listen that I can definitely see my rating for it go up even higher as the year progresses, because it's definitely been a grower so far.
Well, I have the same in this place.
Yep.
Don't get us copyright claimed. Jesus.
Podcast over.
God
Dude, we're
fucking damn
cancelled.
it. That was your second chance. Third one and you're out.
What if I say no?
I mean, you can.
No.
No.
Not on the podcast. I'm holding myself to a higher standard today.
It's professional. Suits and ties only.
Oh yes.
Yeah. But let me just go get my tie real quick.
Oh yeah.
Tie.
Yeah, you gotta stay.
I'll get my noose.
No, that's too edgy.
You've been super suicidal this episode. What's the problem, man?
Bro, I actually know how to tie a noose. I went to Scouts.
Dude, this.
It's actually a very convenient and very you know, it serves a lot of purposes other than suicide.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
We'll hold a memorial for you on the podcast, dude.
I'm not killing myself. I'm telling you about the importance of being able to tie a noose in a kind of, if you're surviving out in the wild. It's good for building tents and such. Good for suicide.
Jesus.
I still don't believe you.
Hard times. I actually know how. Right, I don't have a rope, but I know how to tie a noose.
No. Can we move on?
I went to Scouts. It's not weird.
Yeah, can we move on though? God.
Okay.
Let's move on. I need to speak about Petals Farmer Stan. Yeah. But yeah, Petals Farmer. Lyrically, this album tackles many topics and aspects about Haley's life in specific. One of the main topics is, and the most prominent, is Haley's acceptance of her femininity, which is very brave of her, you know, to like really like express that side of herself. Cause, like, usually throughout her like career, she's been like, you know, leaning to more aggressive, you know, like, I'm gonna fuck you up. You fucking with my hoe, I'm gonna fuck your hoe or some shit. I don't know. But she really expresses that in this album, and I enjoy that a lot. And she really she expresses it through the reoccurring metaphor of flower petals. That's what it's called, Petals for Armor, throughout the entire album. And yeah, it's good. Other topics are like that she tackles is Haley's divorce from Chad Gilbert. The tracks Simmer and Dead Horse. Other tracks explore this, but these are the most prominent. Which in specific talks Dead Horse specifically talks about the affair that she had while the relationship between him and her was collapsing. So, yeah. Sonically, this album, like, it really reminded me. This might sound weird, but it kind of reminded me of like Tom York's solo stuff. At least like Eraser.
Okay, Fantano.
Yeah.
Wait, Fantano said that?
Yep.
Really?
God damn it! Oh man!
I think he called it like Tom York worship or something like that.
It's not Tom York worship. It's like Haley Williams does not sound like Tom York at all. I'm just saying instrumentally wise.
Well, I mean, of course.
Yeah, you don't have to clarify.
Instrumentally wise, like the album is like inverted at least in like the first disc like that was released. Like it has like a lot more like you know, strings and like the darker elements to it. Like for example, let me see here. Yeah, Leave It Alone. Like I swear, like the strings that go like up and high during like the chorus is just so like eerie and just beautiful. Like it's just great, and it really like matches the darker tone of like that first part of the album. It's really great. And you also have like the very like you know, great track Simmer, which just has like, really great like groove and bass work, and just has like Haley doing her thing. I can sing, wow. And yeah, you also have like, as you mentioned before, nostalgia, the Phoebe Bridgers. Who else was on there on the
Julian Baker.
Julian Baker, yes. I will pretend that I know who that is.
What the hell? Oh, dude. If he's like Phoebe Bridgers, check out Julian Baker.
I will. And yeah, also, fun fact, at the end of Crystal Clear, Haley Williams' father is actually on the last chorus of the song, and like they actually recorded him without his knowledge, because he was like performing on the piano, and then they were like, oh yeah, let's take this like audio file and let's implement it into the song, and then she showed it to him on the radio, and he was like super surprised when it came on. Yeah, that was really nice. But yeah, this album is just a really great, you know, listen, and I'm really looking forward to her future stuff in her solo career, and just Paramore in general.
Alright, best and worst tracks. My favourite tracks from All We Know Is Falling are Pressure, Emergency, Brighter, and Never Let This Go. My least favourite track is whose?
My favourite tracks on Petals for Armor were Simmer, Leave It Alone, Cinnamon, Creepin', Sudden Desire, Roses, Lotus, Iris, Virus, and Over Ya. My least favourite tracks were Dead Horse and Taken.
Yeah, my favorite tracks were Simmer, Leave It Alone, Cinnamon, Creep It. Just pretty much all of like the first disc. Fire, Roses, Lotus, Violets, Iris. Yeah, and my least favorite would probably be Taken. Yeah.
All right, we're on the last two. We've made it.
Hoo-hoo.
And yeah, my number 2 pick is Brand New Eyes.
My number 2 pick is their self-titled.
Abel?
Oh,
You fell asleep.
I pick now. I
already said mine.
Yeah, I just kind of forgot. Yeah, my second. Third. Wait, what place
Second.
Second. Okay. Yeah, All We Know Is Falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't catch me in my zone. Don't let me.
Man's in the fucking Twilight Zone.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Brand New Eyes. Brand New Eyes to me is the peak of the band's pop punk phase, and it shows that the band kept improving upon and building upon their style to reach their peak in the pop punk world, in my opinion. I think the instrumentation on this album stays true and blue to their roots in pop punk, but they show a lot more variety from their first 2 albums, and as they add in like breaks from the energetic and loud pop punk sound with more like ballad driven songs in the track list, and I think those songs work to this album's advantage, and they actually flow really well. And I think Hayley's vocals sound just as great as I'd want them to be. I think her songwriting is a lot more improved and a lot more direct on this album, as a few songs on this thing definitely are more aimed at Hayley's bandmates and the turmoil within the band at the time. And of course, a lot of it gets deeply introspective as well, as we'd normally expect. I think those songs in particular stood out the most to me. The track list on this thing is consistently good. Almost every track on this album is incredibly solid. It's nothing but hit after hit, in my opinion. I just can't help but have a great time with every single one. And I would say it's, I think it's just a brilliant album all in all. Very consistent, and probably the best Paramore album from the pop-punk phase of their career.
Yeah, I chose their self-titled. And where Brand New Eyes kind of hinted at Paramore kind of maturing and growing out of their pop-punk sound, I think Paramore, their self-titled, is where the band really takes their sound to the next level and progresses it completely. And, it's a very ambitious album, and it definitely, as I said, represents a sense of maturity and progression in the band's sound. It's very eclectic, and each of the songs just have its own unique identity. It has so many different new ideas are brought to the table here. And, while it's still very much pop-centric and pop-oriented, but within that, boundary, they do kind of experiment with ideas and different sounds and styles a lot, and almost always they completely hit the nail on the head for me. It's one of their better albums in my opinion. It narrowly missed out. Any other band, this probably would have been the number 1 pick. It also narrowly missed out in my top 50 albums of the decade. That's how much I love this thing. And, it's just, the more I listen to it, the more rewarding it becomes. And the more I appreciate some of the subtle nuances about this album. And the more I appreciate the direction that they went in, And it definitely led to better things in the future, which I'll get into. But this album by itself is amazing.
Yeah. All We Know Is Falling. Yeah. I'll say that, although yes, the lyricism is not as good as it gets in the future, it's still really good in my opinion, at least in the topic area wise, because Haley's lyricism on the album is extremely honest and hard hitting. Brighter, which is probably the best written song on the entire album, is about Haley's friend Lainey I'm just not going to try and pronounce that. Who fell overboard in a boating accident at the age of 16. Yeah. And
that track in specific is just like very, very emotionally hard hitting, and just there's also just like a lot of references to Haley's parents' divorce in the track "Emergency," which is like kind of like compares her parents' like divorce to like one of her friends' like relationships, and she tries to like throughout that song like justify that like love deserves to thrive and not like die as it did with her parents, which I thought was really interesting. And also that track, like the MIDI bass, makes that track go like from an 8 to a 9, like fire, dude. Yeah. But yeah, and All We Know, it also talks about the like the interplay between like the band members, some band members leaving, the SHV one band member, the bassist, who came back for Riot. Yeah, it also mentions Haley's divorce, which comes up again in Emergency. Musically, it's rougher than their later work, like after their pop punk phase, and a lot of cool lead guitar moments on All We Know, and the sweet riffs on Brighter, which contracts the topic, of course, and quite a bit of lush guitar work, just like strumming on like All We Know, My Heart, and Conspiracy, which I really like a lot. Let me like point out one thing. You know, like the screams at the end of My Heart.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of like, it's not as bad, but it kind of reminded me of like, you know, have you ever heard like Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy scream? It's really bad.
Yeah, I have.
Let me just state that it's not at all as bad as that. Like, I swear to God, like it's just like when it started screaming, it was sort of in like the same style, and just like I was remembering like when Pete did that like on the second to last track on the Folie à Deux, and it's just like, why sir? It's just like, shut the fuck up, you loser! Like, you are like the most useless band member in this entire band. Like, oh my God, fuck you.
Are we really?
But yeah,
we need to stop starting beef with people.
Dude, you don't listen to Fall Out Boy for the bass.
Who's listening to this podcast and likes Fall Out Boy? Tell me.
I don't know.
Who likes?
I don't know. Anyone from fucking... I don't know.
I mean,
someone from Out of the Day? I don't know.
To be honest, I think that we chose a bad podcast to trash Fall Out Boy, because if anyone is going to be liking Fall Out Boy, it's people who also like Paramore. I think there's the Venn diagrams kind of combined there, so apologies to everyone who stumbled upon
Alright, late disclaimer.
I don't.
Late disclaimer, we don't
apologize.
start shit with anybody, okay? This is a peaceful podcast.
I don't apologize. I start shit with everybody. You want to go on the block? I'm gonna fuck your cock. I don't know.
Bro. That's hot.
Alright, anyway. My favourite tracks from Brand New Eyes are Ignorance, Brick by Boring Brick, Looking Up, Careful, Playing God, Feeling Sorry, and Misguided Ghosts. My least favourite track is The Only Exception.
My favourite tracks on the self-titled were Fast My Car, Grow Up, Daydreaming, Ain't It Fun, Last Hope, Still Into You, and Proof. My least favourite track was One of Those Crazy Girls.
My favorite tracks were Conspiracy, Writer, Emergency, All We Know, and my least favorite track, also, by the way, when I'm looking for this in the notes, I thought both of you were gonna put All We Know Is Falling at the bottom, so I wrote "fuck off, MickyT" and Nostalgia.
Oh yes, yes. They call me Slick Rick. Slick Mick, whose name is also Rick.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe like Whoa, but I like that song a lot. But that's probably my least favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, number one picks. Numero uno. Yeah, after laughter. Yeah. After laughter.
Nick, that's the correct answer.
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank you.
It's the correct
We
answer.
No.
you see we are we are enlightened. We are on the after laughter train. Come, laugh with us.
Okay.
Come, laugh with us.
Laugh with us.
Come on, laugh with us, brother.
Nostalgia on the After Laughter team. He was just talking about wanting to kill himself when a new state came up with what?
You
I
ever-
was
you ever
saying
hear
it was
of-
good
you
for
ever hear
making
of
jokes.
You ever hear of laughing through the pain?
No.
Oh, I
The
got a
fucking happy mask salesman. Coming for his mask.
oh shit.
Yo, happy mess salesman.
Bruh. He vibing.
He do be vibing, dude.
He do be selling masks though. Yeah, I chose After
Yeah.
Laughter.
I chose Brand New Eyes, which is the correct answer.
Nah.
Um,
We'll let you defend that statement, but we'll do it in normal order.
yeah. After laughter. When it comes to certain albums and artists, like fun is all that's really necessary when talking about an album. If we're being real here, and Paramore and After Laughter is a perfect example of this because this is the most fun I've had listening to a Paramore album. The upbeat nature of this album is just so great. I love it. It's probably the most upbeat Paramore album, and it maintains the characteristics that make Paramore, well, Paramore. The production on this thing is brilliant. I love how groovy it is. It's very nostalgic, going for different styles of like say the 80s, like kind of more popular kind of sounds. I'd say I'm stuttering a lot. Forgive me. The it goes from new wave a bit to dance pop to alternative rock, and it sounds great. It culminates in the best of ways, I would say. I think that Hayley's vocals sound fantastic throughout this whole album. The choruses are easily some of the catchiest in Paramore's entire discography, I would say. And I think that there's just so many tracks on here that are just too great not to just name. I'll name them when I get to best to worst tracks, but God, it's consistently good front to back. There's never really a dull moment on this thing. I think that it's peak Paramore, in my opinion. That's all I really need to say.
After Laughter is not only my favorite Paramore album, it's also in my top 25 of the decade. And it's also one of the best pop albums ever made. Hands down for me. I think Hayley, Taylor and Zach just deliver one incredibly well written and relatable pop song after another. The whole like new wave instrumentation style is so colorful and so charismatic, and Hayley's performances are so like energetic and fun, but also very open and emotional and honest, and it's just such a cool combination of the two, and such a cool contrast in that way. And just the songwriting is just so catchy, and it's just peak pop music. It's like tracks which I'll get into like afterwards, but the first few tracks, especially the first track, holy shit, that song is incredible. That all of 27, you can't spoil that. Alright, it's hard times. Yeah, that was my song of the year in 2017. I played that shit non-stop. That was my fucking jam, and I've probably listened to it about 1,000 times, no joke, and it has not gotten old. That song is fucking incredible. The instrumentation is so fun, even though like the kind of off-kilter drum patterns are so cool. It's just such a good track. But that's not to say any other track on here. Holy shit, every track is just so fucking good. Hayley's vocals are so fucking great. The songwriting's amazing. The instrumentation is so colorful and fun and exciting. It's just the perfect storm. And I'm glad that Paramore decided to kind of go full force on this more new age kind of aesthetic that they kind of dabbled in on their self-titled, because God, it's good. It's fucking good, and it's one of my favorite albums ever. It's a personal favorite of mine of all time, and I listen to this album like at least twice a month. It's great.
Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever
Have you ever listened to Brand New Eyes?
I have actually, yes. That's why I'm here.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
For a minute, I thought.
Shut up!
For a minute, I thought you were doing the fucking American Psycho copy pasta.
No, shut up. That's a bad song. But
You like you like Huey Lewis in the
Brand New
news?
Just that, but my opinion on this album. And Nostalgia's the person who I'm bashing in.
It's alright.
The head with. Yeah, but yeah. This album, I'd say the best way to describe it. So, think of the very hard-hitting and, like, honest lyricism on Almost Falling, but more honest. Think of more, like, well-written. And think of, like, the very heavy and, like, really fun riffs on Riot. And just combine both of those together, put them in a blender, shove that shit in, just like, I mean, like, pop out Brand New Eyes, okay? Because this shit just hits so hard, like, in both departments. Like, Careful is an amazing intro to, like, the album. Ignorance has, like, some of the, like, the best, like, riffs and drum work, like, ever, like, in their entire discography. It's such a fun song. And, lyrically, this also brings up again Hayley Williams' parents' divorce in the track "The Only Exception," which is a really nice track because although like she did see like a very big failure of love with this person that she's talking to in the song, which I really hope is not Chad Gilbert, because that would be really sad with what's to come in the future. It probably is, but
Oh, I know.
but that person is the only exception to that rule, and that's like really wholesome to me. Like, it's just such a great song. And also, the last track, All I Wanted. I swear, Hayley Williams is vocal performance is just so piercing. Not only about that song, but just on the entire album. She's just like at her not at her prime because she's still good after this, but like she's like really really good on this album. I love her performance song. But just great lyrics, punchy riffs, just awesome stuff. I did not write notes. I'm just spitballing. For this album, just for this album in specific. I don't know how I fucked up not writing notes for my top, but that's just me, I guess.
It's coming from the heart.
It's coming from the heart.
This is from the soul.
Yeah.
This is
Ow! I hurt my chest.
this is the most heartfelt podcast in the world.
Oh yes, not the fucking most miserable. Like, I don't know why you fucking choose miserable podcast in the world.
I'm in the business of misery. Take it from the top.
Scooty up, done up.
Petition to have Nav on the new Kendrick Lamar album.
Please no.
Honestly, that'd be fire.
It'd be a banger though. Nav on a jazz rap track.
Wait, the next album is rap rock inspired, so
Oh,
AC.
Nav on a new metal track.
Why did I say AC/DC? I was gonna say Rage Against the Machine.
wow. Imagine Nav on a fucking new metal track.
Oh man.
He just does.
Yeah,
With
let's
his
go
like
on to our favorite
dainty
tracks.
voice.
Yeah. Let's just move on to the
Favorite tracks.
All right, best and worst tracks. My favorite tracks off of After Laughter are Hard Times, Fake Happy, 26, Pool, Grudges, Caught in the Middle, Idol Worship, and Tell Me How. No least favorites. Banger after banger.
Better not be.
My favorites are pretty much all of them. If I had to pick a least favorite, I'd go with No Friend, but that track still kind of slaps. Dude, CPR. Anyone know CPR?
No.
Yeah,
Bro,
come on.
rip.
Come on, Mickey.
Dude. Rip.
Kiss me, Mickey.
And on that note...
Wait, let me... I need to say...
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, my favorite tracks on Brand New Eyes are Careful, Ignorance is Your Best Friend, Playing God, just The entire track list, man, no least favorites. The album's a 9 out of 10.
E. And we did it. We survived.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah,
We did it without killing each other. For once.
Wow.
Wow.
Hold on, guys. 1 second.
Wow.
Eyes.
What?
Oh, it turns out Brand New Eyes is his number 5 pick. He kind of messed up.
Oh yeah. No, actually, he put it at his number 6 pick. Oh no, that's a massive error.
Wow.
Wow.
How can you do that?
How could you?
It is I, Chino Moreno, here to bless this podcast.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bruh,
I love
is that...
Paramore, but they're not as good as my band called Deftones. We're a new metal band that makes good music for your ear holes.
Mickey, do you want to close this off?
Hey, Chino, I have a question.
Yes,
You
young
do
man.
Before we end the podcast.
Chino, you do realize your audio is not being picked up, right?
Chino,
I
do
came
you love
prepared.
your
Oh, of course.
Chino,
Mister,
how do you like your Hooters women?
I like them buffalo style.
No, sure. He only goes to femboy Hooters.
I go to goth IHOP because the goths make me feel things.
Drop.
Thank you, Chino.
Thank you.
I love you all.
I love you too, buddy. I
Please
love you too.
listen to my project Team Sleep. We're a dream pop outfit.
Team Sleep is based.
We're trying
Also
to.
listen to my friend Avenade. He's a really good artist. I mean, he's really bass as fuck. Okay.
Alright, bye. Anyway,
Wait, can the bot pick up
I
his
forgot
audio?
to bless this podcast. You kicked me out when I was about to bless it. Okay, now. Okay, I guess I'm done.
Mickey, any closing remarks?
yeah. So I want to announce the next worst to best. Next two, actually. I actually, we were the first podcast we originally had planned to do next is being pushed back after a week. That podcast being a King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard worst to best.
Ooh.
But what's moved forward now is gonna be interesting. We're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna fucking cry of agony, and that is of course gonna be for Nem Nem.
Venom.
Venom. Ain't gonna know Venom.
Venom. But yeah.
So yeah, Eminem next. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, all I would like to say, Nostalgia,
Yeah.
you're wrong. Mickey, you're wrong.
Wow, how
Goodbye.
rude.
Wow.
Before we close this off, I just want to say to Abel, thank you for coming on today. It was a pleasure
Thank you.
having you on.
Fuck you.
Thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that as a
Yeah.
compliment. Yeah. Anyways.
It's been great to be on, for real, though. It's fun.
Yeah. We'll be happy to have you back on in the future. May
Oh, yeah. When we do the Weezer podcast in like May 2021.
Rivers Cuomo's images of Rivers Cuomo smiling worst to best.
Oh yeah.
Images of
Number
Rivers
one.
Cuomo, worst to best.
Did you say Chrome? Chrome?
No.
Chrome?
Rivers Cuomo, dude.
Someone make that, please. If you're listening, someone make Rivers Cuomo.
Oh.
Hey man, you don't need anyone to do that. I'm the meme guy. I
Okay.
can just copied and paste the Rivers Cuomo Chrome.
Pay someone on
Chrome,
Fiverr to do
Chrome. Yeah, pay me on Fiverr, guys.
All right. With that being said,
yeah.
thanks for checking out today's episode of the Taped Podcast. Let's get a discussion going. How do you rank Paramore's albums? Necessary links are in the description to our album of the year, Rate Your Music, Abel's album of the year, And we're going to try be more active on Twitter as well. So the Cassette Tapes Twitter is down there too.
Twitter.
And yeah. See yous.
Peace.